Hey, this is Braedon Flynn with the Artist Report, doing some little mini mashup sessions. I was just out at a conference called Engage, which is for the luxury wedding industry. I'm a wedding photographer, and had some conversations with some cool people. Did a couple little mashup videos, and this one is on the topic of success.
Back so far from home where the ocean stood down dust.
My name is Michelle Rago, and I am an international wedding planner.
My name is Brian Worley. I produce and design events in Los Angeles and everywhere, I guess.
I'm David Beahm, an event designer from New York City.
A good one at that.
Todd Fiscus with Todd Events in Dallas and Houston.
My name is Liz Banfield. I am based out of Minneapolis, and I'm a photographer.
Okay. Hi, I'm Marcy Blum. I'm an event producer, I guess. Yes.
Hi, I'm Grier, and I own Beautiful Day Photography based in Los Angeles. I'm a destination travel adventure photographer.
And how, sort of within that sort of realm, I think it sort of correlates, is how do you actually define success, and maybe how has that changed from how you used to define it versus sort of how that is defined now for you?
Well, I had a life change last year and got married and did a lot of things. And what it's kind of saying to me is I may be ready for a life change completely. And that may be changing my base to be with my husband more, or maybe I want to have a kid, or maybe I want to take 3 months off a year, or maybe I want to grow one side of my business but not the other. I think as a creative person that's also a business owner, your path changes a lot, and sometimes it hairpins, whether you want it to or not, and so you just have to manage the hairpin. So that's kind of what I'm in right now.
How do you define success? Or what is success to you?
I think success is being happy with your work every day and making a living, on a really basic level. It's feeling like you can make good choices for your career and your family.
How do you define success, and sort of what does that look like for you, or like what you're sort of reaching for? Even like could even go back to like what did you define success, because you've been in business for a year or two, but then how do you define success now?
When I first came into the business, I defined success by, having trucks with my name on the side and lots of office space and people. And I personally found that very stressful to be responsible for so many. Today, and also I shifted my focus to be solely really destination. Today, I like a more fluid business. I like to be smaller and more agile. And the balance of work and play, look, I think that's what happens when we get a little older. It matters. It matters what client I get. If it's not the right person, we need to separate ways. It has to be the quality of life. I don't want to deliver projects on bloody knuckles and bloody knees anymore. Those days are over. So I would say balance, creativity, and I want to feel proud of what I do.
How do you, and it could be sort of like how you started out defining success, or like how do you define success now?
How do I define success? I think that being successful is having happy clients that come back to you. For me, I do a lot of corporate events, so my clients, if they come back over and over again, I feel like that is success, because at the end of the day, they trust you enough to be a repeat customer. And then for me personally, when I do an event, like if I just like to stand by the door, and when people walk in, to hear like that wow moment when they're like, wow, that means for me, I've done something that I'm proud of, and that obviously everyone else is attaching themselves to, and they feel like that it's different or cool or unusual or unique. And so for me, that's my own he just walked in front of there. So that's my own personal success.
I've been asking people, how do you define success, and sort of maybe how has that changed from what you looked at success maybe when you started out versus how do you now define success, or what are you trying to do with the business?
Well, actually, I'm going to talk about that today. I don't define success by the accolades, but how you handle the bullshit. Because as wonderful as we like to paint our worlds, logistically, a lot of our lives are nightmares trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B, how to get material from point A to point B. So it's how you handle that and with what elan you handle that makes the difference in a successful business.
Neat. What is the, so if it's how you handle the bullshit, so it's more so just being able to roll with the punches?
Not roll with the punches, but having plan A, plan B, plan C, and knowing if you hit a wall, how to back up and go the other way. And that, I think that is a successful business, not letting it take you down if one thing happens. It's rolling with it and going another direction.
Which is a good skill to have.
Yeah, you have to have it. If you're going to be in this business, you've got to be able to roll.
And sort of within your career, obviously, I'm sure things have started like in different elements of what you've sort of defined success as. Where sort of has maybe your early days success versus like what you now, how do you define success now?
I think early days I thought I'd get really rich and I'd have a mega conglomerate of party planning places all over the world. And now I define success as being able to pay my mortgage, not worry enough or all the time about money, and also being able to support us and live in a nice way.
Oh yeah, the third one is how do you define success, or sort of what are you trying to like, how do you build your business so you feel successful in that sense?
I think I used to think that success was like how many celebrity weddings and how much money you're making. And I mean, obviously money helps, but I think when I finally realized that I was shooting the style that I love, people were coming to me based off of me and based off the fact that they would like hire me because I'm like an adventure travel photographer. And I started just getting those kinds of jobs. I realized that success is like being known for something, being really, really good and an expert at something, and like people seeking you out for that something. And the second that started happening, I was like, this is pretty awesome, because it's like, I'm more powerful than I realized. It's not like, oh, I'm just like trying to get as much business as possible. I'm like creating like a niche for myself. And so that for me, I think is like success. It's like doing what you love and having people seek you out for like being a badass that you are. So.